really give us a breakdown. I've not seen any preview, but we know of one match we're getting tonight, and that is Wendy Choo taking on Smiley Kylie Rae. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think that should be a lot of fun. So Wendy Choo against Smiley Kylie Rae. And I'm sure we'll be getting some other bits. Maybe a bit of Swipe Right. Maybe a little bit of Callie Armstrong. Maybe a little bit of Kendal Gray, Carly Bright. There's a few names, actually, that Holloway guy's quite good. There's a few names that kind of stick into my mind when I think about Evolve. And it was really fun seeing Swipe Right appear on NXT yesterday. And a fun episode of NXT as well. I think the feedback on that was really good. People seem to really enjoy that. So, yeah, lots to get our teeth into. We can jump into the chat in a second. I'm literally just switching over from a little member stream we did. So I'm literally just trying to get ready for Evolve. Why can't I find the right background? It might be this one. So, yeah, as I said, not sure what we're getting apart from the Wendy Choo thing, but I've really been enjoying the Wendy Choo thing. Her and Smiley Kylie Rae is pretty basic stuff, but I'll take basic. And it's just, there's a little something there, and they're not just throwing them in the ring up against each other. So, looking forward to seeing what they can cook up in that match. That match genuinely feels like a match that we could have had on NXT, to be honest with you. I think Smiley Kylie Rae could be on NXT. So, the fact that we're getting it on Evolve, Wendy Choo against Smiley Kylie Rae, is, to me, an NXT match that we're getting on a Wednesday. I was a bit excited when we saw... Swipe Right, and they confronted Fraxium. I believe that's the match we're getting on NXT next week, but I thought they might do it tonight. I would really like to see them do Summit on a Tuesday to set up the Wednesday show. I'd like to see them do Summit on a Tuesday to set up the Evolve show. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be this time. But it'd be nice to see that eventually. It was lovely seeing some Evolve talent. Okay, I've got WWE lined up, and Evolve is lined up as well. Lovely. Oh my God, we are so ready for this. We are so ready. Right, hello, people saying hello. Let's go down there. Lovely. Okay, yeah. If anyone's got any thoughts or conversations they want to get their teeth into, we can do that. I am here for that. Hello, Mike. Hope you're doing well. Andy, let's see what Andy's got to say. Andy jumping in straight out of the gate with some thoughts. Let's see what Andy's got for us.
Andy Nicholson. Hi, Daze. My theory is at WrestleMania 41, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez should defend their We Raw Women's Tag Team titles at Royal Rumble and face Blanca Belair Sky from Andy.
At WrestleMania 41, Liv and Raquel should defend against what? Bianca and Io? Well, I think they're obviously Bianca and Io are in that championship match, aren't they? I mean, Bianca and Io could join forces at some point, but I'm not sure I see that happening at the moment. Obviously, they've got the triple threat to try and get out the way first. I think with Bianca just coming out of the tag team with Jade, I can't see her getting into another tag team anytime soon. I think she's been in a tag team with Jade. That was then a tag team with Naomi. I think she's probably looking for a bit of a run as a singles competitor now. But don't forget, Io's in Damage Control. So we're going to get Asuka back apparently in May. We're going to get Kairi's doing training again. Dakota's around. So actually, you know, if anyone was going to get into a tag team, if Io does lose that championship at WrestleMania, we could see Damage Control doing a tag team program. Zippy?
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Love you, Daze. Love all your information you share with us wrestling fans.
Zippy, shout out to you, buds. Yeah, I only share info that's doing the rounds on social media. I appreciate people are at work, they're at school, education. Not everyone gets the opportunity to kind of see everything that's being discussed. But yeah, no, I mean, it's great for me to sit here and just chat away with you guys about some of the key talking points from the day, or kind of things coming out from NXT, or might even be some people around that didn't join us yesterday for NXT and joined us maybe for Raw and they want to talk about Raw, or maybe they joined us for the SmackDown show and they want to talk SmackDown, or I don't know. I'm open to all the conversations, but yeah, no, appreciate the kind words, my friend. I'd say the big talking point today, well, there was a little bit of news about The Fiend that was a bit weird. About like some kind of ideas that had been floated. So there was that, and which we can obviously get into with Unseen, but we can touch on it here. And there was news about Miro Rusev. Apparently he has been spotted at WWE, and the belief is that he is signing. But there was a rumor that he wouldn't actually be used till well after WrestleMania. I mean, I remember reading some on Unseen that said that they wasn't expecting him till like September time, like after SummerSlam. I don't know why, and I don't know if that's true. Obviously, the streets can lie, but yeah, apparently we're getting a bit of movement, a bit of noise. Apparently he's around WWE, so I'd say that was one of the big stories of the day. So, Zippy, shout out to you, buds. Kim's Train said, I would like to announce Lisa is now the unofficial Wrestling Daze 24/7 hardcore champion. Well, I am fine with there being unofficial championships. I know that the hour and a half is pretty full with the streams that we do, but if someone wants to play out in the wider world away from those, I'm all for that. I'm fully supportive. So Kim's Trains, Nick Butcher, shout out to you. Lisa, shout out to you. Here's Al. Let's see what Al's saying.
Al Blundell. On our Wrestling Days, did you see Joe Gase's posted his tape with the caption, "We"? Is this an acknowledgement of Alexa? And it definitely feels it's closer.
I did not see a Joe Gacy tweet. I don't know if I've been tagged in a Joe Gacy thing. I may have been. Did you see Joe Gacy's post? It's his tape with the caption "We." Was that on Instagram? I'm looking at. I'm looking at. I'm looking at Twitter and there's nothing there. So was that an Instagram thing, was it? Let's have a look. I can go on Instagram. Oh, God, I can do that. I'm so tech savvy. Oh, yeah, an hour ago. So that was whilst we were doing the last stream. It was his video, and it says "We." No, I hadn't seen that, bud. I was just doing a member stream. And it looks like he's not shared it over on Twitter. Can I get you guys to see what I can see? First of all, that's the correct background. And that's what I'm looking at. So, yeah, this is what I'm seeing. It's just his tape, as you said, isn't it? It's just his tape. And it's just up there, got the word "we." My finger gets cut off, look. But it is up there, I promise. So, okay, yeah. Don't know what that is. Oh, hello. Oh, yeah. That was weird. That was weird. We've got some weird things going on at the moment in our community. Right, I also need to change this over, don't I? Because at the moment it says the wrong thing. It needs to say that. Lovely. Okay. Hasib, shout out to you, buds. Let's see what Hasib's got to say.
Hasib Hassan. Daze, if Rusev returns, what's your feelings towards him? How would you use him? Are you excited? Do you think it's a good signing? Is he coming in mid-carder or main eventer? Maybe a jobber lull.
Yeah, I would think mid-carder. I liked Rusev back in the day. I think, though, that he was good when he was with Lana, and they were kind of leaning into him being, like, Russian and all of that. I mean, as soon as we started doing Rusev Day and Lana was removed from him, I actually didn't enjoy him as much. I think they had a really strong gimmick, but I don't think you can do that gimmick right now because it's too political, it's too hot. Russia and what Russia's doing at the moment, you can't do it. I really wouldn't do it. People are really affected by what's happening. People have got loved ones in Ukraine and no. So I don't think you can go back to that gimmick, but when they tried something different, I mean, didn't they put him with like Aiden English for a bit and they had him parted ways with Lana and I don't know, I didn't enjoy that stuff. So I think with him, I've seen it work and I've seen it not work. So it's hard to say like, oh, is he going to be a jobber? Is he going to be a mid-card? Or is he going to be a main eventer? I think it's probably fair to say mid-card. I don't think he jobs. I think it's fair to say mid-card. I think if you can find the right gimmick, he could have a flirt with the main event scene. I suppose I see him a little bit like a Big Bronson Reed type. I see him as someone that could have those kind of monster wrecking ball type matches. He kind of is a bit of a Jacob, but maybe without the aura of Jacob. I don't think if we get Miro that we're signing the next big thing, right? I mean, he's a good hand to have on the roster. I think he's a good mid-carder. He can win mid-card championships. He can be a problem for baby faces that are outside of that main event scene. If he's got a gimmick that works, he is not a bad little feud for a Cody Rhodes. You know, he's not a bad, I wouldn't say he would beat Cody, but he's not a bad little, B-show, one-off little obstacle. That kind of thing where Cody's champ is just finished. Let's say Cody gets past John Cena, and then people are like, okay, what's next? It feels like Cena's going to have a match with Orton, so it doesn't feel like Cena's going to be around Cody after Mania. What do we do at Backlash? Well, if Miro comes in and murks Cody, messes him up, stands over him screaming, and Lana's by his side, and we're going to do him against Cody at Backlash, I don't hate that. I don't think he would win, but I don't hate it because, that to me is, oh, okay. He's back. Rusev's here. Present him as a monster. Present him as being angry. Present him as being out for revenge. And as a one-off little hit, you go, ooh, that's not a bad little fresh matchup, that. I'd have Cody go over him. And then, of course, that means that he's going to have to find a way of bouncing back, probably in the mid-cards. But, yeah, if he's got a good gimmick that clicks, I think you could find a way of getting him back up to that main event scene quite easily. So, but equally, I've seen him do some rubbish that kind of, in my mind, resulted in him being little more than a jobber. So he's a real tricky one. He's a real tricky one because I think it really depends on the gimmick that you give him. And I don't think you can give him the gimmick he had before because of what's happening in the world. Who Review. Let's go. Let's see what Who Review is saying. Hello.
The Who Review. Maybe Trick is in Dark State, but maybe Ava asked Dark State to attack Trick, so no one thinks Trick is involved. So when he is revealed as part of Dark State, it is a surprise.
Maybe. I think it's a bit of a hat on a hat. I think, if Dark State's attacking people, it's more likely they're not the leader. Because if we kind of go down that thinking, then Javon's been attacked, so he could be the leader. Ober's been attacked, so he could be the leader. Ethan Page has been attacked, so he could be the leader. Robert Stone has been attacked, so he could be the leader. I don't think, like, for me, there's not really a reason as to why it should be Trick. I think the reason why people were saying it was Trick was because he hadn't been attacked. So now that he has been attacked, I think that's probably eliminated him in a lot of people's minds. So, I don't know. It's one of those. It could go that way. I think if we were talking about what's most likely, I don't think it's likely it goes that way. I don't know. The Ava thing is interesting. Because I kind of like the idea of someone guiding this group or being responsible for this group that's not an active wrestler. Because in my mind, adding another person into that group was going to make it a group of 5. And if it was Trick, there was already people saying, where's the female in the group? You don't have to have a female in the group. But if you look at a lot of the groups that we have, like Final Testament, we had Scarlett, like Judgment Day, we've got Liv. Before that, we had Rhea. We got Raquel as well. If you kind of go down a list of groups, even Legado had Elektra Lopez. LWO had Zelina. So it is a trend, not a given that there's a female in the group. So I sort of look at it and I go, well, it's hard to have another person because that's going to make it 5. Plus, if it's Trick, you still don't have a female in there, which isn't a problem. You don't have to. But Ava kind of fits quite nicely because she's a female. She has wrestled before. I don't know if we're going to try and get her wrestling again. But she's also an authority figure. So she can sort of come in occasionally to talk about the group and guide the group. But really, it's the group that can do the bulk of the work. And if we do need a female, maybe we can use her in a wrestling capacity. I'm not aware of her having injuries or anything that's preventing her from wrestling. So I don't know. I think like the whole leader thing as well is, again, I said it the other day, we don't even know if there is a leader. The leader might be that Shakuan Chuggers. So it's a real difficult one because my feeling is that there probably is some sort of swerve coming. There probably is some sort of twist coming. I wouldn't be shocked to find out that there's going to be some sort of reveal, but nothing has really been teased apart from Ava now smiling on the entranceway. And that's got people going, is she smiling because she's in on this? I don't know. I honestly, there's no word, there's no rumor on if this has got a leader and who that leader's going to be. As you said, could it be that they beat up Trick so you don't suspect Trick? But then if you go down that school of thought, you could then apply it to a lot of people. It's an interesting one. It's a tricky one. At the moment, I wouldn't be surprised to see there being a little twist. I can't say now that I'm thinking it's Trick. But who reviewed? That's interesting. Got me thinking.
Adam Bryburn.
Got the cogs turning.
Hey, Daze, during the WM Watch Along, you talked about not being an MVP fan and wondered if Carmelo could end up like MVP. I was curious if you had someone you saw as a star who didn't live up to it.
Someone I saw as a star that didn't live up to it. Someone that I saw as a star that didn't live up to it. Well, do you know what? The first name that comes to my mind would be Ludwig Borger. I think the reason he comes to mind is because we've been talking about him recently. But that's a deep cut from the past. The reason why I would say him, and maybe the reason he's the first one that comes to my mind is because of the fact he's on Dark Side of the Ring, right? Which I haven't seen yet. But genuinely, when I was a kid, he was presented as a Brock Lesnar type, as like a problem, as like this wrecking machine. I remember some of his vignettes that he had, and he was out on the streets, and he was like, yeah, the kind of there is definitely a flavor of Brock Lesnar with Ludwig Borger. So in my mind, and the way that they were giving him wins and the way they were building him up, in my mind, Ludwig Borger was going to go on to definitely be a champion. And in my mind, quite a dominant champion that was going to be a problem for your Bretts and your Shawns and, you know, people like that to have to try and get past. But it just did not go that way, did it? I don't know why he ended up going. I think there might have been some pay disputes, but I'm not sure. Not sure. I'd have to watch that Dark Side episode. But obviously he ends up in UFC, and we know that there's, you know, some beliefs that he has that are very, very unsavory. I mean, he was not a good person. But he was one that kind of comes to my mind, because I remember seeing him as a kid and thinking, this guy's a problem. This guy's going to be a problem. This guy's a problem. And then, do you know what? He wasn't a problem. He was not a problem. I'm trying to think of someone, though, recent. Someone that I can give you that I thought might do something that hasn't done something. I suppose Carrion's a real shame. Carrion was very dominant down in NXT. You could maybe say Finn Balor. I mean, as much as it hurts, Finn Balor was massive in NXT. You know, him with the Demon and winning the NXT Championship and being the guy. There's a period in NXT where Finn Balor is the guy. And he came in from New Japan. He had all this hype. He had loads of support. He won the NXT Championship. I mean, he wins the first Universal Championship. He's the first champion in 2016. And there is a big what if, isn't there? What if he didn't get injured in that match? It's got to be one of, not the biggest, but one of the biggest what ifs in WWE history. What if Finn Balor didn't get injured in that match and actually had a run with that Universal Championship? Because what happened was he won it in 2016, got injured in the match, had to relinquish the title like the next night on Raw, and he was out. He was injured, he was out. And when he comes back, we can't get him back to that world title picture. We can't get him back to those levels that he was at before. And actually, by 2019, he's losing to The Fiend, and he's going back to NXT. He's going back to NXT, not for like a couple of weeks, but for a run where, you know, he goes back down there for an extended period of time. And then he finds his way coming back up. He's a babyface, does a few bits and bobs, and, you know, eventually joins up with Judgment Day. And he's been in Judgment Day for quite a while now. I mean, Judgment Day have actually been going for quite a while as a group. Started by Edge, of course. So, you know, Judgment Day have been going for a while. Finn came in, not at the very beginning, but he's been in for quite a long time. So, yeah, I sort of think Finn, unfortunately, I saw someone that was going to go on and be the Demon on the main roster, be a big star on the main roster, and it just has not panned out that way. So I'd probably go with someone like Finn. I was trying to think of a woman. I don't know if I can think of any females that didn't quite live up to expectation. I'm trying to think of any women that have kind of come through. I mean, I'm still waiting for Raquel. I really believe in Raquel. I suppose you could say Shayna Baszler. Would it be unfair to say Asuka? Because Asuka, I mean, look at her undefeated streak. And then on the main roster, she's been used, but she has won Rumbles, and she has been champion, and she has had runs. I don't think you can say that Asuka's main roster run has been disappointing, but it's not been as dominant as her NXT run. I think you can say that Shayna Baszler's main roster run has been underwhelming, so maybe Shayna Baszler should get a little mention if we're going to talk females. Maybe Shayna Baszler gets a mention. Cesaro said, Wupak. Do you know, Cesaro is really interesting because I feel like for the longest time with Cesaro, it was about, is he going to grab that brass ring? I mean, famously, I think, isn't Cesaro mentioned in that Vince McMahon interview with Stone Cold? So that interview's like, what, 2014, 2015, Vince McMahon sits down with Stone Cold on the Broken Skull sessions or whatever it was, the Stone Cold podcast. And this is, you know, it's very rare to hear from Vince. So he sits down with Vince, and I think Cesaro's name gets mentioned. And Vince talks openly about how, you know, he's got to grab that brass ring. And a lot of people have got to go for it. They've got to, you know, take that chance. Like, it was hard to understand exactly what he was saying, but I think it was about taking a chance, pushing yourself, giving everything. But the thing with Cesaro is he always did. I just think he always had that little charisma that was lacking. He was never going to get onto a microphone and say something that was going to have you rolling with laughter on the floor or blow your mind. But in ring, he was exceptional. I don't know. I feel like he should have had a mouthpiece. He could have been in a faction. I know we tried loads of stuff with him. We did Real Americans. We put him in with Sheamus. We created the Bar. I mean, what a tag team that was, right? I mean, that was a success. With Sheamus, yeah, it always felt like something was missing. And I don't think he ever quite found it. And to be honest with you, I don't think he's found it in AEW either. I think they use him quite high up with like the Death Riders, but I still don't see him like fully. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't look at him in AEW or the clips I've seen and gone, there it is. That's what we were looking for. It still just feels like Cesaro to me. So, I don't know. I'd be interested to know if people feel different on that. Do people think that he's changed and that he's better in AEW? I don't know. I don't really watch. I see clips, though, and he still just seems like something's missing to me. And I think that's what Vince was talking about the brass ring. Mackenzie
Scoos. Could you Layla induct Michelle into Hall of Fame?
Could Layla induct Michelle? Yeah, definitely. She might want Undertaker doing it as well. She might want Undertaker doing it. I don't know who she will get. I would imagine WWE will probably be pushing for Undertaker, because if they announce that Undertaker's going to be inducting his wife, then that is going to increase the chances of selling tickets. If it's Layla, probably not so much. But I suppose it's her choice, isn't it? You know? She could absolutely. I mean, it would make total sense for her to go that way, yeah. James said, I know you've not seen Zayda Steele before, but tonight you're gonna see the future. Has she been announced as being on the show? I know there's a lot of excitement around Zayda Steele, but you are correct. I've not seen her wrestle, so yeah, I'll be very excited to see her if she's wrestling. Did they announce that last week that she was wrestling this week? That might have passed me by.
Hasib Hassan. I thought Keith Lee was going to be the face of the company when he was in NXT lol.
Yeah. Keith Lee. Brony said Cesaro's similar to Gunther, but Gunther can cut a promo. That's the difference. Brony said they literally had Daniel Bryan cutting promos for Cesaro during Cesaro's feud with Roman in early 2021. Cesaro has always sucked, and he still sucks, says Hasib. I do get, though, Cesaro, why he was mentioned. In ring, so impressive. He's someone that if we could get a mouthpiece for him, like if we could find a way of it working, I feel like WWE struggle sometimes with bringing the best out of people, and it's natural. All wrestling companies do. I don't know. Maybe there are just no hopers. Perhaps there are people that you just should go, you can't do this, right? But I would like to think that if people are really committed and really put the work in, and you train with it. I mean, effort is obviously needed, but I've got to think that a lot of people that make it this far apply themselves and give effort, yeah? So as long as they're willing to learn and take things on board, I've got to think that there are things that you can do to really get everyone to fulfill their potential. And I feel like with Cesaro, his in-ring was so good. Why didn't you just make him like a masked killer and just have a manager that speaks on his behalf? I mean, what's the problem with Cesaro? The problem was always a lack of charisma and bad promo skills. But actually, his wrestling when he wrestled was amazing. And his physique, he was shredded. And he had a good size to him as well. He wasn't a small guy. He wasn't like 6'5" or anything like that. But he had a decent height. He wasn't like a flipping Johnny Gargano, right? He wasn't someone that was small and you see people kind of poking fun at them for it, right? This was someone that was 6'2" or whatever, right? He had a good size. And he had a great body, great physique. Why didn't we put him in a mask? Why didn't we make his presentation darker? Why didn't we give him a Paul Bearer type mouthpiece? Like, why didn't we try more things like that to see if something would land and something would work? I just feel like sometimes WWE don't try enough. It's sort of like, yeah, it's not working, you know, see you later. I mean, what I will say with Cesaro is they did try a lot of different things, not that creative, but, you know, let's put him with Sheamus. And that worked. Bar was great. So, I mean, that worked. But it's just, they're a tag team. That ain't going to help him as a single star because it's a tag team. And then, you know, we also kind of had him with Heyman for a touch, and we did lots of little different things with him. We've had him in factions and, you know, tag team with Real Americans. We had Zeb Coulter as his mouthpiece. So we did try a couple of things, but nothing quite worked. And it's like, why wasn't you a bit braver? Why didn't you go a bit bolder with your creative? I don't know. I can't really answer that. Apart from it's probably just easier to just go, it ain't working and bin it off, you know? So that's probably the answer. It's probably that. It's probably just easier. Kader said Cesaro had Heyman as his mouthpiece, and for whatever reason they stopped it. I actually don't know the reason why they stopped it. I don't know why they didn't keep going that way. I mean, the only thing I'll say is that Heyman, I think, works really well when he's got really big guys next to him. And Cesaro, I don't think, quite ticks that box. You know, a Heyman with a Brock Lesnar. A Heyman with a Oberfemi. A Heyman with a Roman Reigns. You know, that there's a level of wrestler that is like super heavyweight. You know, a Heyman with an Undertaker would have been perfect. I sort of feel like you've got your smaller guys, your Rey Mysterios, your Tyler Bates, you know, you guys that are under 6 foot, right? Then you've got your average guys, which for wrestlers is probably about 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", something like that, right? And then I'd say if you're like 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", you know, this is where you've got your kind of super heavyweights. And this is where you've got your Braun Strowmans. And this is where you've got your Roman Reigns' and your Brock Lesnar's and your Undertakers and your Kanes. This is where you've got your super heavyweights. And I feel like Heyman's a really good mouthpiece for the super heavyweights. I must admit, and it's controversial, not crazy about him being the mouthpiece for CM Punk. It's controversial because you put in one of the best talkers with one of the best wrestlers, and people love that combination, and I totally get it. I just don't feel like Punk needs a mouthpiece because he's one of the best on the microphone. So he doesn't need it. And I think that Heyman works better when he's with someone that does need it, and someone that's a bit more of like a, you know, a monster. Someone that's like just there to destroy people. They're not interested in talking. They do their talking with their fists. This is why Brock was so good with Paul. But like with CM Punk, he doesn't need that. So, and also CM Punk's, great, not always a babyface, but a great mat wrestler, a great technical wrestler. And I don't know, just not the kind of person that I think Paul needs to be with. But I know many will disagree with that. But yeah, interesting conversation. Kind of opened up a whole conversation I don't think we've had before. Woo-pack.
What
time is it?
I'm more of an in-ring person to y'all, so PPL like Cesaro, Apollo Crews, Justin Gabriel, Cedric, etc. I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, I can understand that. Some great talent that you've just named there. I agree. I think Chad Gable is someone... I mean, the thing with wrestlers is normally there's some area that's a little bit underwhelming, It's hard to find a wrestler that tends every category. And so you look at someone like Chad Gable, amazing in the ring, really charismatic, funny guy, can cut a promo, like he can talk. He might not come out with any kind of kill shot witty lines, but his delivery is excellent. And if he's brainstormed a few things, like creative can give him some stuff, and he'll have the odd catchphrase, thank you, and stuff like that. And, that works with the crowd, and he gets over with the crowd. But you can't really escape the fact that, oh my God, I wish he was like 5 inches taller. I think he comes in at like 5'11", when I'd love him to be 6'2", 6'3". And actually, I think that, that's been the barrier, hasn't it? That's been really what's held him back, is that. But there's not much you can do about that. So you've got to find a workaround for it. And obviously, Vince tried to call him Shorty G, which sucked and was not the right thing to do. But now instead, we've put a faction with him called American Maids. We're leaning into the comedy. We're having him put on banging matches. We're elevating and really highlighting what he is good at. And that is his in-ring. And, he's part of a faction. He's got some big lads with him. Now we're doing the comedy thing with El Grande. That's working. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Look at where he is now and how he's being presented now, and compare it to when he was Shorty G. It's the same guy with the same abilities, but just being presented completely different. And as a result, he's getting completely different reactions, which is why I think WWE are not always brilliant at finding the best way of bringing out or highlighting people's strengths. And, it just goes back really to the Cesaro conversation that we had. Hasib
Hassan. Daze, the fact Cesaro is with Mox and his group makes that group suck lol. We have to watch him, and Wheeler bored the hell out of us lol.
Okay. Yeah, I as I said, I don't watch AEW. I only see a few clips, so I can't say. But I've seen some pushback on the Death Riders.
Edward Brown LFC won the baddest on the planet. Daze, I feel like the screwed up with Deano Purrazzo and Gale. They are both great in ring and good at what they do. We fumbled the bag with them, just being honest. Same with Wade Barry, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Deonna Purrazzo. Gail Kim, I don't know if Gail Kim left WWE or if WWE let her go. I don't know what happened there, but she obviously was a great talent, and she found a lot of success over in TNA. Deonna Purrazzo, I don't know what's happening with her. I know James is very angry at how she's been treated in AEW, but she was a good star in TNA, and she was in NXT. And I think, honestly, the WWE machine is so big. There's hundreds of wrestlers they have to look after, that it goes back to what we said about Cesaro. It goes back to what we said about Rusev. Of sometimes it's just going to be easier to just be like, do you know what? I've got 30, 40 wrestlers that I'm looking after that have got problems that I need to deal with. I can't find the solution to this one. I can't right now in my mind find what it is that's going to make this work. So I'm sorry. we're going to have to part ways because I've got little fixes over here and you're a big fix. And I'm, that's on me as a producer, as a creative person. That's on me, really. I should be able to find the answer, but I got to fix all these. I got to do little tweaks on these, and I can't find the big fix over there. I wonder if some of that comes in at play, I wonder if, Deonna Purrazzo just wasn't quite landing with the crowds and they needed to find a new presentation. I don't know if she was doing the virtuoso thing in NXT. She may have been. But, clearly there was something that was felt like it was missing. And clearly they didn't think they were going to be able to find it. And hence why, they ended up parting ways with some people. But, I mean, again, look at Toni Storm. Toni Storm was fine. I mean, I liked Toni Storm when she was in NXT. And she made it to the main roster. And I was looking forward to her, finding her feet. But I never saw Toni doing what she has now gone on to do. I mean, she has just reinvented herself and created a character and really a world with, Luther. And, Mariah May was kind of part of that world for a time. And she's kind of created this, promo style, the black and white, her vignettes, the way that she her whole character. She's built this kind of world and this character since leaving WWE that has just really captivated people. And honestly, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see her having that up her sleeve. I don't know. I bet WWE are kicking themselves at losing that, That could be in WWE right now. But again, at the time when she walked out, that was her choice. But, had WWE have let her go, you just don't know that someone's going to go on to create that and become that. I mean, they just have so much talent that they have to manage. It's tricky. It's tricky. I bet there are quite a few that WWE kick themselves about that, they had and they kind of let slip through their fingers. And obviously you heard the chant Toni fumbled because the NXT crowd were making it very clear that Toni and AEW had fumbled by letting Ricky Saints slip through their fingers and letting Cody Rhodes slip through their fingers and CM Punk slip through their fingers. And, obviously they've had to let people go and people have wanted to go. But some of that talent has found its way to WWE and it's doing very well. And vice versa. This isn't have a go at AEW. Vice versa, WWE have let talent slip through their fingers that have then gone on to do very well at TNA and AEW. Kim's Trains. Ooh, that's interesting. Interesting name.
Kim's Trains, a.k.a. Nick Butcher. Member. Is another underwhelming wrestler, Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous man. More like the world's most underwhelming man. He was a machine and not really used properly. He would be phenomenal now.
I think it was... You are correct, but I think it was more his choice. I think that they... I don't know if he wanted to go back to MMA and some other opportunities presented themselves for him. But I'm sure I heard that, I think WWE would have done more with him, but he was ready to kind of go back. And I think he still felt like he had a bit more in the tank when it came to MMA. I seem to recall listening to, I think it was JR podcast. Could have been Bruce. It was one of those two. And they were talking about Ken Shamrock. And they were saying he really could have been something if he had just applied himself, if he had just really committed himself to the business, he really could have been something. And they were kind of making out that he was kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That showed itself in his work. It certainly showed itself in the way they were booking him. And there was some frustration there, that he didn't, give everything, jump in with both feet. And had he had done that, maybe he would have lived up to kind of the expectations I think a lot of us had for him. So, I'd say a good shout, but still someone that, seemingly is going to find himself going into the Hall of Fame. Brony?
Bronny FN. Tony Storm and Swerve are Wooey's biggest fumble. Both of them have turned into huge stars. Props to them.
Tony Storm and Swerve are WWE's biggest fumbles. Yeah, I mean, I love both. So, yeah.
J14. It's been a while since I've had a Wednesday free. Glad to be back watching Dynamite and Evolve live tonight.
Yep, shout out to you, buds. I don't know. James is saying that Zayda's going to have a match tonight, so that'll be good. Obviously, we know we got Wendy Choo as well. Yeah, I'm really excited at... I really like Evolve. I'm not just saying it. I have a lot of fun with Evolve, and I'm really looking forward to seeing kind of what they've got for us this week. I thought last week was good with Stevie Turner being announced as being the new GM. So I thought that was good. I really like the crowds. I really like the feel. I've said it kind of feels a little bit like a club. I kind of feel like there ain't many people that are watching Evolve, and certainly not the wider WWE fan base. And it sort of feels like we're getting to see stars that are really going to make it in NXT. Like right now, we're getting familiar with some names. Like it was great to see Swipe Right rock up yesterday, and to know who they are and have a little bit of an understanding of them. Like that was good. I really enjoyed that. So I like it. I know that it's obviously got its flaws. It's not a 10 out of 10 show, but I've definitely got enough from these first few episodes to, look forward to a Wednesday. I'd love to be in that crowd, honestly. If I go to Florida, I would love to be in that crowd. I think that could be really, really fun to actually be there in that space. I mean, anyone can go to Raw or SmackDown, and it's a little trickier to get into NXT, but I don't even know how you get into the Evolve crowd. So to actually be in that would be pretty cool. So yeah, I'm a fan. Sign me up. Right. Let's get a few more thoughts whilst we are just got 9 minutes. So let's do a blast of thoughts for 9 minutes.
Hasib Hassan. Days if Facepunk went head-to-head with heel Cena on the mic, do you think that could be the greatest promo battle in the history of wrestling law?
Oh, it'd be brilliant, yeah. It'd be brilliant. I think I've got CM Punk as genuinely up there with the very best promos ever. I think that CM Punk can go in there and go toe-to-toe with... I'd put him in there with Rowdy Roddy Piper in his prime. I think Piper in his prime brought a lot of energy, had a few good lines. You was always going to get something out of Piper, but I feel like CM Punk would be able to fire back, and he would match with that intensity. I feel like Rowdy's intensity would like bubble over into aggression. So I could actually see them two, like Piper in his prime, going toe-to-toe with CM Punk on the microphone. And I think it would be very even, and I think that Piper would throw the first punch. Because, I think about him smashing Jimmy Snuka over the head with a coconut. I think about him on Piper's pit, like WrestleMania 5. Like he would quite often be the one that would resort to it turning physical. So I don't think he would cook CM Punk. I think that, Piper's regarded as one of the very best talkers of all time. So I think, Cena's brilliant as well. I do find Cena can overact. I don't really remember that being the case 10 years ago, but since he's gone into acting, I find that a lot of what he does now can be or feel a little OTT. We were joking about the heel turn and about like how that was kind of how that played out. And there was a couple of moments there where once he was beating him down, it was brilliant, but there was something a little bit off about when hey Rock, go F yourself. There's this really long pause while Cena's like laughing his head off over at the ropes, pointing over at the Rock like he just told you to F yourself. And like, really big dramatic reaction. And we were waiting for that whole charade to play out before he then stepped forward, gave him a hug and, did the thing. And, people were talking about his overacting in the Rumble. And I kind of I sensed a little bit of that in the promo on Monday as well. So that would be my only criticism of modern day Cena, is that it's good to go big with your mannerisms and go big with everything, but I don't know, he can go maybe a step too far at times. And I think that can make it come across as a little phony, a little OTT. And so I actually think CM Punk right now would batter Cena on the mic. I think Cena on a mic and Punk on a mic, I think Punk would come out the winner in 2025. Go back about 10 years ago, I'd say a lot closer. I feel like it'd be a lot closer, but actually I think Punk would still probably win. I really do have him up there as one of the all-time best. Yeah. Let's see what Kim Strains is saying.
Kim's Trains, a.k.a. Nick Butcher. Member. Scott Hall was another guy who could have been a world champion.
Yeah.
Just a shame his personal demons got the better of him.
Yeah.
He was way better in WCW than he was as Razor Ramon.
I agree with all of that. It's a real shame because what a talent. In-ring, character work, promo. There's a guy that's maybe not 10 in every box, but is 8 in every box, yeah? Every box is like an 8, if not higher. I'd say his character work when he was Razor Ramon might be getting closer to a 10, but just personal demons like the Bulldog.
Ismail Mounsef. What do you think of my idea of a tag team with face paints that combine the Eliminator's assassin style and Demolition brutal style, one short muscular guy and tall muscular guy?
A tag team that combine Eliminator's assassin style, Demolition brutal style, and muscular guy and a tall guy. Yeah, I'll be down for it. Have you got any modern wrestlers that you would put into that? Have you got 2 current names that you would go with? I'm down for that. I think there's always room for a big monster tag team, I think there's always kind of space for that. We sort of had one with, I suppose we haven't really got it with War Raiders. I don't know that you can really call Eric a monster. Kind of had it with Authors of Pain, but that didn't really work out. I don't think, Tyson, Tyreek have got a bit of size. I know that's not quite the thing that you're talking about, but I think there's always room for big, powerful tag teams.
Lisa Brown. You can tell Cena isn't comfortable in the heel role because he's off his game on the mic, and you can just see it in his eyes that he's not enjoying himself.
Oh, you think so? You think he's not enjoying himself? That's interesting. You don't think he's enjoying himself? I don't know. I can't quite tell. I think that he's doing something that's uncomfortable. I couldn't say if he was enjoying himself or not, but I definitely feel like it's uncomfortable. It's not quite a natural fit. But he's giving it a good go. I'll give him that. He's giving it a good go. I thought that his promo section on Monday was very good. And I think that Cody came back and Cody was equally as good. So, as I said on Monday, I don't think anyone was buried. I don't think anyone lost in that verbal exchange. Some people thought Cody did better. Some people thought Cena did better. The fact there's no kind of unanimous, stance on that says to me that it was a 50-50. They both got their moments in, right? So I think he's doing well with it, but all things considered. But yeah, I can understand it not being the most comfortable thing for him. Aubrey, let's get Aubrey's comments as we're literally just moments away. I think we're a minute away.
Aubrey from the Island of Relevancy. Member, Is it beyond the pale to suggest that Dwayne made Cena turn heel on his last run just to prove he could and his dominance?
Is it beyond the pale to suggest that Dwayne made Cena turn heel to prove he could and his dominance? I don't know what you mean by that, but I think that they did it from what Triple H was saying because it was now or never, and it was a case of Dwayne wanted Cody. He couldn't get Cody. He also wanted a moment. And I think it's a little bit of stars aligning. It's a bit like, I want a shocking moment. I want someone to be my champion. I want Cody. Cody wouldn't do it. So then he went and spoke to John. And I don't know if they sold it to John, like, it's now or never. You can do the whole goodbye thing, or you can tell one last epic story of like the heel turn everyone wanted to see. I think they sold it to him that way. I don't know if they were kind of thinking of doing it anyway or how it all kind of pieced together. It might be really good to get like a documentary on that one day. But I think it's that. I don't think it's anything more than that. Here we go though. We are underway with Evolve. Yes. Pro wrestling. This is where it evolves. We got a double main event tonight. Let's go. Okay, Joe Coffey is taking on Harlem Lewis tonight. We haven't seen much of Harlem Lewis, but good to see Joe Coffey on the show. Kylie Rae and Wendy Choo. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, Keanu Carver takes on Luca Crusifino as well. And we've got Danny Palmer against Callie Armstrong. I like Callie Armstrong. That's going to be a face-off, though. Okay, Brindley Reese is coming out. We've seen Brindley Reese before, of course. Okay, here we go. Brindley Reese. She said before about how you know me from NXT, but she's a little bit different. There's more to see. Yeah. There's more Brindley Reese than what you've seen. So we haven't seen loads of this girl, but she is all about her fitness. That match speaks for itself. So, Brindley Reese coming down. This is his favorite theme music in Evolve, apparently, Mr. Stone says. So, is she taking on Zayda? Because we haven't... Yes, she is. I was going to say, we haven't seen Zayda get announced. Here's Zayda Steele, then. Lots of excitement around this girl. She looks a bit like Stevie Turner coming out with the glasses. Zayda Steele making her way down to the ring. The real deal, Zayda Steele. Okay. This is a big debut. Let's take a look at Zayda Steele and what she... Okay. All right. She was the first WWE ID prospect. I didn't know that. She's ready for it all. Okay, well, there we go. The real deal. Zayda Steele. The first WWE ID prospect taking on Brindley Reese that we've seen in NXT. Bella sounded. And we are underway. Hold on. Shut up. She tells the crowd to shut up. Okay, she's ready now. She's ready now, and they lock up. Brindley Reese has got a bit of thickness to her. I appreciate that. She looks like she's got a good base. She looks like she's got some power to her, Brindley Reese. Working on the arm. Down goes Zayda Steel. Brindley Reese definitely bigger than Zayda Steel. Zayda Steel. Nice. Okay. Jackson Drake. This girl gets on my head, on my nerves. She does my head in. Like, she's meant to be like the VIP, do you want a drink, sir, kind of woman. And there she is just sort of lounging around. Mate, if I was paying that girl, I'd be like, get up. You stand there, you hold that tray. Yeah? I don't pay you to slouch on the couch. Stand up. Don't give me attitude. There's other girls. Over goes Brindley. Brindley has got a lot of muscle foundation, said Brony. That girl gets on your head. She gets on my head. Right, Zayda Steel. Trying to get Brindley. Ooh, Brindley just flipped Zayda Steel over. She kind of went face first. She went for the cover there, but no joy. Right now, Brindley grabbing Zayda. Zayda's down, sliding. She throws in a kick. She's getting back up. She grabs Brindley. Brindley goes down. She's kicking out there at Brindley. She goes over. She grabs her in the corner. Kicks coming into the midsection. Right now, she's going to throw in a big chop. Brindley felt that. Zayda collides into her back elbow there by Zayda. Brindley goes down. Zayda in the middle of the ring. Look at her! Mate, I can't be the only one. Get up. Get up off that couch now. Shot coming into the midsection. Shot going in upstairs. Reverse. Brindley Reese goes into the corner. To the outside goes Brindley Reese. Tell you what, there's a nice energy to this. I mean, you can tell that both of these have got experience. Boot coming in there by Zayda. Double knees there by Zayda. Brindley comes back into the ring. Zayda for the cover. 1, 2. Kick out there by Brindley. Mr. Stone says Brindley needs to figure something out here. Knee in the back. Chin lock applied by Zayda. She convinced Instagram to extend video reels to 3 minutes. That's a Zayda Steel fact. Boom! Look at the power by Brindley Reese. Zayda Steel down. Brindley Reese won her first ever Evolve match last time out. She's trying to get back up to her feet as Zayda comes over. Back elbow there by Brindley. Brindley back in the corner. Big boot there by Brindley. She's got tons of Brinergy. I like Brinergy. I feel like that could be one of those like Red Bull drinks. Brinergy. She should do that. Why doesn't she come out with cans of Brinergy? Spine buster. Spine buster. Brindley Reese back in the corner. I don't mind the leg slap thing she did in the corner there. Cartwheel low. I hate that. That sucks. 1, 2. Shoulder up. She does a cartwheel, and as she gets back up, she throws like a clothesline. But she sort of cartwheels and then has to find a balance and then throw the clothesline. The cartwheel does not shoot her forward. It doesn't give her the momentum I think she thinks it does. 1, 2, handful of tights by Zayda. Brindley over against the ropes. Zayda grabs Brindley. Brindley in the middle. She's got Zayda up on her shoulders. Oh! Excellent. That should do it. And it does do it. It's a win for Brindley Reese. Not bad, honestly. Not bad. Not a bad little opening contest. Let's get match scores, see what people thought about that opening contests. Yeah, she does that cartwheel thing, then sort of has to find a balance and then go into that clothesline. That is a big win as well. Zayda's got a lot of momentum, hype. Ah, here they are. Here's the lads. Part is here. Swipe Right have come in to just check on Zayda Steel. Yeah, the boys are here. The part is here. I need to get some Swipe Right merch. There we go. Look at that. Who is she? Mate, why is no one having a word with that girl? Why is Zayda being... It wasn't that brutal, was it? She was getting, carried out. Her feet were, dragging on the floor. Okay, Kylie Rae is backstage. She's having to do some breathing techniques. She's panicking. She's panicking. She's panicking. Yeah, okay, she'll be all right. You'll be all right. Focus. You got to overcome it. You're Kylie Rae. You're a competitor. You're a fighter. Fighters fight. Fighters fight. That's what fighters do. Don't try. Do. She's going to do. She's not going to try. She's going to do. Fighters fight. Good luck. Let's get the breathing going. Yeah, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. I'm really looking forward to that match, you know. Big boys. Right, Keanu Carver, Luca Crusifino. The big boys. I legit thought they were going to let Zayda have that one. Good for Brinley, said Jadam. Is Jessica Carr champion yet? Not yet. Not yet. The cowards. Although we don't actually have any belts, so... Hannah said, we've still got a few PLEs this year that have not got a venue location. Where do you want to see them go? Japan, surely next. I'd like Japan, yeah. Japan. They haven't announced Mexico, have they? Or have they? Mexico's one that's... Have they announced Mexico? I think wasn't Backlash rumoured to be Mexico and then it wasn't. I'd like Mexico. Yeah, Japan, Mexico. I'd like Africa eventually, but it might be a bit too soon. Africa would be sick. Right, we're just seeing Keanu Carver. I want to see them on the moon, said Frankie. Japan would be awesome, said Dr. Luchalala. Imagine a PLE at the Tokyo Dome. 7-star matches all around. Oh, my God. We could honour Dave Meltzer, couldn't we? We could have Dave Meltzer come out to the ring and we could all celebrate him and cheer him. Meltzer, 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 Meltzer. It'd be like that, wouldn't it? Love you, Meltzer. Love you, Meltzer. Like that. It could be such an amazing rebrand for Dave Meltzer. Right, here we go. Carver is in there. This is... Have we seen him against Holloway? I think I'd like to see him against Holloway. Here's Luca. Hey, we all know Luca. Tony gave me his blessing. Do you remember, was it last week we found that Luca's got a website? The first one there, the last one to leave. That's it. Let's go. Let's go. I'm a Luca fan. I'm a Luca stan. This is going to be quite interesting, actually, because Luca is someone that gets used on NXT quite a bit. So he's surely not about to lose. But then saying that, this is one of their monsters. This is one of their guys that they've really been promoting. I don't know which way they're going to go here. I think they go Luca. Okay, we've got Carver just saying a few words. Luca Crusifino taking his jacket off, and we'll be underway very soon. Hassan said, I vote Luca to get the win here. Keanu is definitely Swerve and Ober's child. Yeah. Big chop coming in. Size-wise, he's actually not as tall as I thought he was here, Carver, but he is bigger than Luca. Luca goes down. Luca over to the corner. Charges. Big right hand by Carver. Oh. Luca definitely felt that. Kicks coming in. Big boots. Carver pushes him back. Luca to the outsides. Nice. Goes over the top. Oh, charges into Carver. Mate. European uppercut. Bang. Okay, Luca coming back into this match. Going for the cover. 1, 2. 2. Just a 2. The consigliere of the family. In control. Reversal there by Carver. Luca goes up to the outsides. Big boots. Looking to go over the top. Slingshot. Got caught. Smashed. It's a couple of big shots that Carver's thrown that have really took the momentum out of Luca. Yeah, they're just showing a replay of this shot. Bang! It looked good. Couple of shots he's thrown look really good, actually. Against the ropes. Collides into Luca. Luca goes down. 1, 2. Kick out by Luca. Yeah, I think this is tricky to know which way they're going to go. Let's get this written down first. To the outside goes Luca. Carver goes to the outsides. So he's down there. Grabbing him. Just going to look to what we're doing with him. We're on the outside. Saying a few words. We're just chucking him back in. I think we should have done something with him. Couch Girl is funny. Don't get me started on Couch Girl. Oh, my God. If I was Stevie Turner, I'd march out there and I would kick her out of this building. Couch Girl is like the biggest heel I've ever seen. I hate Couch Girl more than I hate Logan. Shots coming in. I actually think Logan's Crypto Zoo scam isn't as bad as what Couch Girl is doing right now. Oh, another big shot. I tell you what, those strikes that he's got, I think he knows he's really good at those. I think he knows he's really good at that as well. We've seen him do these a couple of times, a flying forearm and a couple of big strikes. Oh, hello. Bit of a camel clutch, chin lock applied. Luca trying to get back up to his feet. Shot coming into the midsection. Who wins? Luca. Let's see. This match probably won't take too much longer, but we can just get a rough idea what people are thinking. Luca back in the corner. Keanu charges in. Luca moves out the way. Luca's selling his back. Charges over. Big shot. Back against the ropes. And again. Over the other side. Duck underneath Luca. Okay, here we go. Luca coming back on the shoulders. Samoan drop. Double knees. He's going back against the ropes. Bang. Big boot going for the pin. 2. Kick out. Kick out by Keanu. Nice little sequence there. Keanu looking over. I'm looking to see what Keanu has got in his locker. What else has he got? We've seen his strikes. We've seen him coming off the ropes with that forearm. Crisscross! Collides into Luca. Luca goes down. Trying to go over. He waited a bit too long there. Almost got it, though. He waited a little too long to get that pin. If he'd have got that pin on earlier, he might have got the 3. Picks him up. He's got him on his shoulders. Oh! Yeah, that's got to be it. 1, 2, 3. Wow. They've gone with Carver. They've gone with Carver getting the win. Look at that. People were 50-50 on that match. People weren't sure. I wasn't sure. But they actually went with Keanu Carver. That's a big win for him against someone we see on a very regular basis on NXT. That slam is really nice. That finishing move was really good by Keanu Carver. Sort of felt like he was slamming him that way, but he kind of ended up slamming him to the side. I'm coming for everybody. Yes. Coming for everybody. Just like Donald Trump and his tariffs. Right. Danny Palmer against Callie Armstrong. The face-off tonight. That was solid, said prehistoric vintage. Okay, here, do we know this girl? Chantel Monroe. I feel like I've seen her once before. Okay, so she's making her way out. A little bit of a dance. We got the mirror. Oh my God, Couch Girl is actually just sat on the couch now. She's not even sat on the arm. She's sat on the couch, and she was even having a little bop away as well. I hate that girl so much. I would have her deported. I would find a way. I would plant some. I would find a way of getting her deported. Maybe the greatest heel I've ever seen in wrestling. Okay, so Chantel Monroe, and she's taking on Mason Holiday. Okay, not familiar. This music's kind of interesting. Hey-oh. 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 Turn the hey-oh bit up. Turn that up. Hey-oh. Get the drums louder. I feel like there's a tune there. It's a little bit. It's a little bit like, I don't know, I want to say Kamala-ish, but I like it. The drums and the kind of chanting. Right, going over. Days NXT did 650. Oh, really? That's a bit of a decrease, isn't it? Okay. Take over. Don't know these girls. That doesn't matter. Monroe has got Holiday against the ropes. Holiday is interesting theme, girl. Theme that can be improved, girl. Lovely jump there by Monroe. Nice hip toss. Roll into the outsides. Get up. She grabs her. Oh. She grabs her. over in the corner. That's a lovely pace. Yeah, kicks coming in. She's stomping a mud hole. Monroe in control. Grabbing Holiday. Holiday. That was nice working on the arm. She had the arm wrapped around that rope. Oh. Yeah, flips her over. Holiday getting back up to her feet. And again, pulling down on the arm. She's grabbing that arm and she's working on the back. Hurls her into the corner. She grabs her again, hurls her. No, reverse there by Holiday. Rolls up Monroe. 1, 2. Kick out. Not much of a kick out there. Nice. Grab the arm. Shoulder barge. Holiday goes down. Boom. Jumps down on that arm. Coming up next, Danny Palmer. Kylie Armstrong, the face-off. I'm looking forward to that. Kylie Armstrong can talk, mate. She can talk. These two girls, I'm not aware of them. But they're working at a bit of a pace. She did miss a knee. Shoulder tackle by Holiday. And again, flying shoulder tackle. That was good. Monroe in a bit of trouble. Trying to get over to the corner. Holiday in. Grabs her. Boom. Monroe in the corner. Scoops her up. Holiday. Took a while. We got there. Monroe's gear is really flipping annoying. I don't know what it is that's around her boots, but I'm annoyed by it. What is that meant to be? They're like flipping ankle warmers. Trying to roll her up. 1, 2. Oh, and she gets it. Well, there we go. Monroe gets the win. That's disappointing because I really wanted to hear Holiday's theme music again. So I'm actually disappointed with that. She didn't even really grab much of the tights, did she? I mean, look, this is Evolve. Bit of work to be done there. Lovely pace, though. Lovely energy. Okay, here's Chewy. That's her second victory. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Oh, she's not. When I look in the mirror, all I see is a winner. Okay. Okay, she can do some talking. She can do the reflection of perfection. Mate, she'd get murked by Kylie Armstrong. Let's not even kid ourselves. She would be murked. Right, here's the sit down. There's Danny Palmer. I've seen her in NXT before. Shouldn't you be on the ground like where I'm going to leave you next week? Let's go. Let's go. Kylie Armstrong, for me, is the women's champ in Evolve. Aren't we here to evolve? I'm different. If you want to learn from your mistakes, how about you go and do that when you're not attached to someone who can win? That's great. So they teamed, and Kylie Armstrong is blaming Danny Palmer. It won't work. I'm saving it all for the match. It ain't the 90s no more. No one writes checks. So they've done that so to tease next week, but I like Kylie Armstrong made a big impression on me when I saw her week 1. I really liked her when I saw her again in a singles match. And again, she's just had a few good lines there. Harlem Lewis coming out. Kelly said, I want to know who's behind Project X. I want to know who's behind Project X. I want to know. Maybe it's Kylie Armstrong. Maybe it's Harlem Lewis. Harlem Lewis making his way down. Booze. Ringing out. I can't remember who he's facing. Is it Joe Coffey, is it? This match will be all right. I'm all right with this match, but I'm way more excited for Wendy Choo against Smiley Kylie Rae. Okay, that last match gets good 89. Carver against Luca got good 100. Brinley Zayda got good 97. So that's how our 3 matches have scored so far. Here's Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey. Flipping main evented NXT UK takeovers. Look at the size of Holloway. Holloway bigger than Wolfgang. Holloway's caught my attention as well. I really like Holloway. I'm a Holloway stan. I'm a Kylie Armstrong stan. I'm a Holloway stan. I'm a Brindley Reese stan. I like Zayda Steele. She was good. Okay. Mackenzie said Harlem Lewis is Cora Jade's boyfriend. Oh. That's good to know. So this guy's been on Evolve. On LFG. The 3 secrets to success: effort, aggression, and passion. Joe Coffey. Okay, Bella sounded. And we are underway. Joe Coffey against Harlem Lewis. And it's always good to see a Joe Coffey match. Joe Coffey, as we said, real solid wrestler, really good wrestler, main evented some NXT UK takeover shows. But Gallus just not getting the screen time that they need. So what can they do here in Evolve? Kip up there by Joe Coffey. Nice. Takeover, arm drag. And again. Right now it's Joe Coffey that's in control. Surely Joe Coffey wins this. Surely he wins this. Right now, knee in the back is keeping Harlem Lewis down. Stomp coming in there by Joe Coffey. Harlem Lewis getting up. Shot coming into the midsection. He's back in the corner. Over the other side goes Joe Coffey. Up on that middle rope. Boom! European uppercut. Joe Coffey up. Gets caught. Mid-air. Ooh, little bit off, but it didn't matter. It's still in good. He caught him, but he was like all over the road. No joy. He didn't get anything from that. Round the back goes Joe Coffey against the ropes. Joe Coffey bouncing off that top. Bah! Big, heavy collision. In the back, Joe Coffey goes down. Harlem Lewis in control. Kick coming in there by Harlem Lewis. Stomping away. He's got a foot on the side of the face there of Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey looking to try and get back up. Shot coming into the midsection. I think we really do need these championships. I think, like, we really do need to have these matches, like, have a purpose. Against the ropes goes Harlem Lewis, big boot. Joe Coffey down, looking for the cover. No joy, shoulder up. Harlem Lewis looking for the pin. You can't get it. Every time Joe Coffey kicks out, he just goes again. Harlem Lewis standing over Joe Coffey. NXT PC is basically Love Island at this point. Imagine that show. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do WWE PC Love Island. Oh my God, that could be our Thursday streams. Right now, Harlem Lewis. I can't quite make out what the crowd are chanting. Was it Harlem sucks? Harlem Lewis with the elbow to the back of the head there. Joe Coffey goes down to one knee. Picks up. Oh, lovely back body drop. But Tommy would love that stream. We would all love that stream. Jay said, I thought she was dating Frazier. I didn't hear anything. Oh, it wasn't Thea Hale. Thea Hale was with Nathan Frazier. I don't know if they're still together, but I think those guys were dating. Obviously, Lash and Trick. Stevie Turner's married to one of Pretty Deadly. Nice shoulder barge. Sol Ruka was with Tyler Bates. God, they're all at it. They're like rabbits. Aren't they? Carmelo's with Bianca. Not Bianca, blooming Kalani. Bianca's with Montez. Seth's with Becky. Triple H is with Stephanie. I mean, Jesus. Shoulder up. This match is going longer than I expected, said Brony. TNA is Thursday. Everything else can pee off, says James. They could do it before. They could do it after. Imagine finishing watching TNA and then going and watching WWE Love Island. Right, both guys go to the outside. We've got people talking about their star signs in the chat. Big shot coming in. And again, throwing into the midsection. Oh, he just punches the ring posts. Damn. He just punched the ring posts. He's getting back in the ring. Harlem Lewis grabbing Joe. Headbutt there by Joe Coffey. Trying to roll up Harlem Lewis. 1, 2. Kick out by Harlem Lewis. Joe Coffey down. Stomp coming in there by Harlem Lewis. Again, is looking for a... He's got him up. Oh, slams him down. Going for the cover. 2, 3. Whoa! Harlem Lewis. Mate, we're just murking NXT talent. Harlem Lewis gets the win. Mate, he just beat Joe Coffey. Dude, is this right? Is this right? Oh my God, imagine Joe Coffey finding himself in Evolve and losing. Oh. Oh. If I'm Joe Coffey, I'm gonna freak out here. I don't know what he's saying. Is he saying to the ref about his hand? Has he hurt his hand? He was just saying to the ref, well, we're keeping an eye on him in the background. I think Joe Coffey has hurt his hand, you know. Harlem Lewis look over to Joe Coffey. Coming up next. Wendy Choo. Yeah, man. This is good. This is a main event I care about. Yeah, I mean, he was holding his hand there, wasn't he? I mean, I think he might have been selling because he punches the ring post at one point in that match. Wendy versus Smiley Kylie Rae. Big match. Dream match. Let's go. Let's dial in. Let's dial in. At this rate, Kylie's going to beat Wendy Choo. Yeah, gods. I'll tell you what, if I'm Cody Rhodes, I'm not coming to Evolve. Apparently all this Evolve talent is like the best talent we've got. Kylie Rae. Ah, I do love that entrance. Sliding in and then... Here we go. Smiley, Kylie Rae in the middle of the ring. Oh my God, she's so thrilled. She went like that to the ref, and the ref was like, please stand there. Oh my God, yeah! No, please stand over there. Oh my God. She's trying to center herself. Yeah, let's go. I'm a Kylie Rae stan. I'm a Wendy Choo stan as well, though. Here's Wendy. We never found out what was on that note, did we? Brony said, we want Calyx. We want Calyx. Look at this. So, Wendy Choo making her way out. Kylie Rae in the ring. Wendy Choo with that spooky pillow. She brings the pillow out, but I'd be interested to know what she could do with it. I think she has used it and hidden like a brick in there or something before. But if you're going to bring it out, I sort of feel like you do something with it. She grabs it. There is something in there, actually. Bella's sounded, and we are going to be underway with our main event. This is your main event. Smiley Kylie versus... Is it IE? I think it is, isn't it? There we go. Her character work's brilliant. Her facial expressions are brilliant. Look at Kylie. Kylie's doing brilliant as well with her like being all spooked out. Okay, bell has sounded and we are underway. People not crazy about that last match, just giving it a good 90. Here we go, look. Smiley Kylie puts her hand out. Wendy charges over. Kylie Rae gets round the back. Wendy grabs her by the head. And nice headlock takeover. Kylie Rae down, just keeping her grounded. And Wendy in control in the early stages of this. So Kylie Rae's keeping Wendy down as well. Every time Wendy's trying to get out, she's like, no, no. Wendy trying to handstand her way out of this. Whoa. That was good. She managed to get her head free, and then she was like, ah. She then puts a side headlock on as Smiley Kylie Rae gets back up to her feet. Wendy against the rope, shoulder tackle. Down goes Kylie. Against the rope goes Wendy. Wendy over the other side. Leapfrog. Goes down. Wendy rolls over. They both look at each other. They're trying to outmaneuver each other, but no joy at the moment. Kylie goes over against the ropes. Chopped there by Wendy, looking for a arm drag. Look at that by Kylie Rae. Really good. Trying to flip over. She gets grabbed. Duck underneath. Over against the ropes. Round the houses. Nice takeover. Good drop kick. Single leg drop kick to the midsection. She's back up. This is good by Kylie. To the outside. Charging in, goes for a big boot. No joy. Wendy Choo in control. Shots coming down. Knee to the back. And Kylie Rae spills to the outsides. Wendy is just slowly making her way over. Crawling her way over. Kylie Rae is down. She grabs her. She's looking to drag her in by her hair. Gets her back into the ring. She's got her down. Kick coming in there by Wendy. And again, she's got Kylie down. Twisting the heads. Twisting the heads. Wendy in control. Going over, grabbing Kylie. Kylie in the corner. Forearm shot coming in. She's looking to hurl her over the other side, and she does. Her hair and the bow and everything she's got is kind of all falling apart. Coming in with a big boot. Oh, my God. Smiley Kylie Rae has been battered. Her hair's a mess. Wendy Choo in control. Not bad, this. Nice little pace to it. Right now, we've got Kylie trying to get up. Shot to the midsection. Wendy standing over her. Kylie goes back to the corner. Wendy charges in. Back elbow there by Kylie. Wendy coming in again. Big boot there by Kylie. Big clothesline. Kylie Rae coming back into it. Wendy Choo again goes down. She's feeling it. She's coming back into it. She's digging deep. Collides into the corner. Wendy Choo crashes down. Wendy. Oh! Gets collided into. One. Just a one count. Just a one count there by Kylie Rae. Kylie Rae getting back up to her feet. Grabbing Wendy. Getting her up on her shoulders. These girls have done quite a bit of stuff. Been a lot of action in this match. Trying to roll her up. 1, 2. No joy. Kick out there by Wendy. Round the back. Ooh. The what? The dirt nap. What was that? The dirt nap. Yeah, she's trying to get over by the ropes, but into a suplex. Big German by Wendy. Kylie Rae over in the corner. Wendy charging in. Kylie tries to kick out. Wendy grabs her. Kylie Rae trying to climb up. Comes off the top. Rolled through. Kips up. Oh, lovely kick. Lovely kick there by Kylie. Wendy Choo goes down, but... she sits up. That is pretty cool. I'm not afraid of you, Wendy Choo. She kicks her again. Crossface is in. Dude, I like that for Wendy Choo. I like that sit-up. Wendy trying to get out of it. The crossface is in. I don't want to see Wendy tap. You can't have Wendy tap, surely. She's reversed it. 1, 2. Kylie has to break it. I like the sit-up. Yeah. Nice right hands. Going over. In the corner. On the middle. Comes down. Gets caught. Caught by Wendy. That might do it. That has turned the tide. And it feels like the beginning of the end. Middle of the ring. And I don't know that Kylie Rae is going to get out of this. I think that might be it. She's faded. She's faded. Ring the bell. 6 smile on Wendy Choo's face. Wendy Choo picking up the victory in not a bad main event, honestly. Pretty fun. Lots of action. Not bad. I like the sit-up. I'd like Wendy to kind of keep using that. The dirt nap. That move looks kind of good as well. You can see like all the veins and stuff popping in her neck. Oh, look, she grabbed that out of her pillow. Is she going to put that over Kylie? Oh, she puts it over the camera. And then the sound sort of gets distorted, and that's how it ends, is it? God, I don't mind that at all, you know. I don't mind that at all. I think there's a couple of nice little things in there for Wendy. I think the sit-up's good. That's kind of like throwing... I thought she was putting it over Kylie Rae. She threw it over the camera instead. Yeah. Do you know, I think with Evolve, you get quite a lot of action. I mean, we've had 5 matches in the space of 45 minutes, and we've had a couple of promos, and we had that face-to-face. So I feel like you get quite a bit of stuff in there. The problem is that nothing it really means much at the moment. People are getting momentum, and they're getting like, you know, I've had 2 wins now and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I just feel like let's get the tournaments going for the championships. Let's get that going. Let's do some backstage feuds. Let's have some ringside drama. Let's do... I suppose we did get the Danny Palmer, Kaylee Armstrong thing set up for next week. And I'm sure something will come out of these matches. I mean, I'd like to see an absolutely livid Joe Coffey. I mean, Joe Coffey losing in Evolve should really bother him. That should really bother him. I mean, in all fairness, Luca is going to have to go back to the family and tell them that he just lost in Evolve. Like, that should really flip and bother him as well. So, you know, I'd like to see some fallout from that. I'd like to see the Kylie Armstrong. Obviously, I'm looking forward to that next week. I don't know where Kylie Rae goes from here. I mean, does she just try to ignore Wendy Choo now? Like, she tried to beat her. She couldn't do it. She just moves on. Will Wendy Choo not allow that? Are we going to get a longer story out of this, or is it just this is it and we move on now? If so, what are we going to move on to? So, yeah, I think a little bit more to kind of set up future episodes. Because there's things you can go, well, that might lead to somewhere, or that could go somewhere, but you don't know that it's going to. I don't know that Joe Coffey is going to be livid. I don't know that Luca's going to be livid. I don't know kind of where all of that's going to go. I'm sure it'll go somewhere. But yeah, I feel like that's really the big thing that's missing at the moment. But other than that, you know, I mean, you've got to expect that the in-ring's going to not be to the same standard as NXT. And, you know, I think in large places it isn't, but there's some good stuff in there as well. You do see these flashes and these glimpses of things that they can do that are good. And there is some really good talent that's being used. You know, Zayda's got a lot of hype and momentum. Brindley, I think, is a good talent. Carver's got size, but seems to be very limited with his moveset. Luca is obviously someone that we see quite a bit on NXT. Monroe and Holiday was probably the worst match. Those 2 girls, they were all right. They worked at a nice pace. I can't say there was loads that I would really pull out of that match as like praising, but there were some bits in there. Joe Coffey, Harlem Lewis, maybe a bit disappointing. Not a match that I kind of found myself loving. You lot didn't really love it either. You scored it good 90. We need to just get the results for this main event and see what people think about that. No shot. Brock is in AEW, says Brony. Lesnar, AEW. What? Brock Lesnar's in AEW? I can't imagine that. Unless, what, was he just in the crowd or something? I can't imagine that. Not with the whole court case. No, he's not. Why are you guys lying, said James. Brock just F5'd MVP. What's the score that you're giving the show overall? What is the... James said, I'm literally watching Dynamite. Did they just confuse Lashley for Brock? Guys, please try not to confuse wrestlers with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's in a little bit of hot water at the moment. I think wrestlers would appreciate it if you don't confuse them with him. Akeem said, I'm going to give it 7.5. I think it was solid. Porky Pig said, I think it was about a mid-5. David thinks it's about a 9. PJ gives it an 8. Blue Shirt says 7. I sometimes confuse Hornswoggle with Brock Lesnar. Some easily done. Easily done. I really want to see Kylie Rae on NXT. She's too good, said Jay Rich. Yeah, but I feel like we would lose a lot on Evolve. She's really fun character. I mean, like, she works from the moment she comes out. She slides in the ring. She, like, lies there, goes over to the referee. Referee didn't want to do the high five thing. So all of that just kind of, it's fun. It sets the tone. It lets you know that she's a fun, bubbly character. She's a good person, a fun person. She's the baby face. And it's like, she's so experienced. She's got things that she knows that she can go to. It's just experience, isn't it? She's got lots of like moves that she can use. She knows when to use them. She knows when she needs to involve the crowd. She knows when to pick the pace of a matchup. Like she's good. You're right. She's NXT ready, but if you take her out, you do really lose a lot. Then maybe we could replace her. Perhaps we could put her to NXT and then take someone from NXT. I would not hate Thea Hale being in Evolve. I would not hate that. That would be pretty sick, actually. We haven't seen Thea Hale. We're not even using her on NXT. Why not give her a little run in Evolve? Just for a month. Just use her for a TV taping. And do a story with her, like from a taping. I don't know how many shows they record in a taping. But even if it's like 4 weeks worth. Fine. Lovely. That'll get us through for a little period of time. I would not hate Thea Hale being in. And maybe then you could afford to lose a smiley Kylie Rae. I'm going to give it a 4. It's not good, but it's okay, said Ninja. Best match was probably the main event. Bobby Lashley is dressed like a GTA final boss, says A. Jobson. One person mentioned Brock in the chat and it started chaos, said it did. Brindley Reese looks a bit like Thea Hale. She looks like her older sister, doesn't she? Yeah, I can see that. Okay, let's get the final score then, shall we? And see what people were thinking. Oh, that match just came out as great. Wow. You lot really enjoyed that. That's come out as not high great, just great 55. But even so, that's a great score, a great rating. So good 97, good 100, good 89, good 90, and great 55. So, yeah, I would probably be around a 6.75, 7, something like that for the show. I feel like I've just seen Brindley Reese, Zayda Steele, Luca Crusifino. I don't mind Keanu Carver, is a big guy. Joe Coffey, Wendy Choo, Smiley Kylie Rae. I feel like I've seen some names that I'm interested in. Matches were okay. They weren't terrible. The Monroe Holiday one was probably the weakest. Main event, I agree, was the strongest. We set up something for next week, but I would have liked a bit more. And, obviously the in-ring could have been better. And we could have set up a little more for next week. So I would say an acceptable episode. One that was not a chore to watch, but then Evolve's never a chore to watch because it's only flipping 45 minutes long when you take the adverts out. So, yeah, fine. Good. We'll see what they've got for us next week. The Keanu guy caught my eye, said Woopak. Frankie said, I had some FOMO. I had a fear of missing out. Daze, does this feel like Mania season then the past few weeks? I feel like it has. NXT was good. Let's hope SmackDown cooks. I would say SmackDown, there was a flicker. It was better. I didn't think it was a drastic improvement, SmackDown, but it felt like the strongest one we'd had in a while. Raw was considerably better than what we've been getting and was easily the strongest of the European tour shows. So, yes, I wouldn't say the past few weeks, but I would just say this past weekend with SmackDown on the Friday, Raw on the Monday. I thought NXT was good. I think it was still not where we've been in 2025. We've had some really exceptional NXTs. I think it was a very good episode, but well below, obviously, the Madison Square Garden show and well below some of the shows earlier this year. NXT has really cooked in 2025. I would say what we got was more than acceptable, was a really good episode, and in a different year, probably would have stood out more, but it's just up against some really good NXT episodes this year. But solid again, really good again. I completely agree. So I would say that SmackDown on Friday, Raw on Monday, NXT yesterday, Evolve was fine tonight. It was solid tonight. I don't hate the show tonight. I got lots of names that I got to see. Some interesting matchups, some interesting results, some interesting moments, all wrapped in 45 minutes. Fine. It's one of those where people that were not feeling it, I understand. People that really enjoyed it, I understand. I think we're in a good place. And I'm actually very optimistic for Friday, because we're off the European tour now. There really is no excuse now. I feel like we've constantly said, let's get past Elimination Chamber. And then we kind of were like, well, let's get past the European tour. And it's always been, let's do this, let's do that. I mean, there are literally a couple of weeks to go till WrestleMania. If you ain't doing it now, you ain't doing it. So we're out of time and we're out of excuses, and it is very much now or never. So for me, I've got to be optimistic for what we're going to get now, because, well, this is it. Whatever they've been holding back, whatever is up their sleeve, whatever it is that they've got, as we said, it's now or never, isn't it? So, yes, I am going to go into Friday with some optimism. And I think that's okay. I'm not going to get carried away, though, because we all know that you need to have your expectations in check. But I don't know. I've seen enough from this past weekend to think that, okay. The temperature's rising. We've turned the dial a little bit as we're getting closer now. And so, okay. Perhaps it was just that this was a longer WrestleMania season, and perhaps the truth is they can't do 2.5 months build, 2.5 months builds, like all of February, all of March, and then half of April. They just can't do it. So perhaps they did need February off, and then they did the European tour, and perhaps, we are going to get the good stuff. But yeah, this weekend, much better. Anna said, a great show with the right winners winning tonight. With that being said, do we think Armstrong being the wrestler with the biggest potential? I don't know. I mean, what I would say is Armstrong is the one that's put it together the most from what I've seen. I mean, there's certain people we haven't seen loads of. I mean, I haven't seen loads of Swipe Right. I think they've had one match and not many promo segments. I haven't seen loads of that Jack Cartwheel, so I can only really judge off what I've seen. The person that feels the most rounded of the non-NXT talent is probably Smiley Kylie Rae, but we knew that anyway. Outside of her, I think it probably is Callie Armstrong, because I really enjoyed her explosiveness. She's very good in the ring. She, has a decent pace about her. She's not someone that looks like she's lost or doesn't know what to do next. Like, she seems like I don't know how experienced she is. I don't know that she's a WWE ID. She might be a next in line, but either way, she does not look lost. She doesn't look like she's trying to figure out, I do what now? Like, it flows. So in ring, I thought she was fine. Obviously, she can keep improving, but I mean, we're talking, is she good enough to be in Evolve? Is she good enough to grab your eye? Yes. I think her promos are what really stand out to me, though. She was mid-match talking to the camera while she was pinning. She was trash talking her opponent in that very first, I think it was the main event, or it might even have been the very first match. And I remember thinking, like, they probably told her to do that. They probably said, right, at this point, we'll have the camera here. We want you to trash talk. So it was probably something they told her to do. But it hit me that she is trying to maximize her minutes. You know, you're in the middle of a match and you're taking that opportunity to not only show that you can wrestle, but you're also showing some of your promo skills. And you are really trying to capitalize on your time. So I think they probably told her to do it. But if they didn't, then I would be even more impressed. And then we've just seen, obviously, the sit down. And she actually invaded commentary as well. And, you know, cut a bit of a promo using their headset. I like the presentation of her. I like the size of her. I like the confidence of her. I think she's got good promo skills as well. In ring, I've seen nothing that's made me go, ugh. So as a complete package, I would struggle to sit here and go, you know, Holloway. I haven't seen interviews with Holloway. I think I would struggle to give you another name better than her. She's the one that's really grabbed me. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's some good talent there. I like that Holloway. Keanu Carver looks a little limited in ring after what I saw today. He kept going back to a couple of the same things. But, you know, what he does well. I was surprised, actually, that he was the same size as Luca. It would have been nice if he was just that little bit taller. They were actually height-wise about the same. So, I don't know. He's much thicker, though, you know. So he's still a beast. But there's some talent there. There's some talent that's coming through. I like Kylie Bright and Kendal Gray. I've said that before. I like those two. I'd really like to dig in more to Kylie Bright, thinking that she's friends with Kendal and Kendal doesn't want to know her. I'd like Kendal to, you know, be bossing Kylie around. Do this for me. Yeah, no problem. And, like, you know, it's clear that she's being abused. And maybe have someone going, you know, she's just using you. She's like, no, she's my best friend. And, like, maybe we could dig into something there backstage. I'm sure all that's on the way. I'm sure that's all coming. But, yeah, there's these little green shoots. Do you know what I mean? Like, in Evolve, do you know what I mean? Like, people have got goodwill towards Swipe Right. So it's like, we want to see a bit more of them. People, I think, have seen that Kelly Armstrong's got something about her. I like the Holloway guy. I'd like to see a bit more about him. I'd like to see a sit-down face-to-face promo with him. We've got a few names like Smiley Kylie and Wendy Choo and Joe Coffey, Luca Crusifino. I'd like to just dig into some more stories. I'd like to get the championships going. That's kind of where I am. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait for those things. It might be we get another similar episode next week, but I hope they're not too far away. But, yeah, I'll continue to enjoy it. James said, Zayda might have lost, but she's still going to be the future. Akeem, shout out to you. 8 out of 10 for that last half, but I missed the first half, said Taker 1990. Okay, I'm going to run away to do Unseen, of course. So thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. I know this is a very niche part of the WWE worlds, but also I sort of get the vibe that it is it's a little bit of an exclusive club. It's a little bit of you've got to really like WWE to go this far down the ladder. So I kind of enjoy these Wednesday streams. I kind of enjoy these just hanging out with you guys and having a little chat. So we'll be back again next week to do more of the same. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it as always. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.